The jury in the trial of two men accused of targeting vulnerable teenagers over 2 decades has begun to consider its verdicts on a total of 20 charges against them. It has been alleged the girls were sexually assaulted, raped, and made to work as prostitutes in Coventry and Rugby by Peter Jones and Raymond Dickens. And at the start of the 5th week of the trial at Warwick Crown Court, following a 1-week break, the jury, which now consists of just 11 members, finally began its deliberations. Jones, 55, of Wheelwright Lane, Coventry, but previously from Rugby, has pleaded not guilty to 3 charges of rape, while Dickens, 53, of Langdale Close, Rugby, denies 2 charges of rape. In addition, Jones has denied sexual assault, kidnapping, having an imitation firearm with intent to commit an offense, false imprisonment, administering drugs to have intercourse, causing or inciting prostitution, and assault. And Dickens denies further charges of indecent assaults on 3 young women, procuring a woman to become a prostitute, and false imprisonment. Also in the dock is Helen Thompson, 43, of Morris Close, Rugby, who has pleaded not guilty to taking part with Jones in the kidnapping of a teenager 20 years ago. Prosecutor Michael Shaw has told the jury, "What we say has gone on is that for the last 20 years or so Jones, assisted by Dickens, has been targeting vulnerable girls of 17, 18, often with emotional problems and from broken homes and in care. They befriended them by buying electricity for their flats, getting them phone credits, and so on. The name of the game was to get them on the game, as it were. To control them, they used intimidation, kidnapping, getting them onto drugs or raping them. They would repeatedly rape the girls, not just for sexual reasons but to retain control of them. They got away with it, on the whole, for about 20 years. Then, you will hear, as so often happens, that what had been eating away at these girls, many of whom had got on with their lives, started to leak out, and partners were told." Mr. Shaw said one of the alleged victims confided in her partner after watching Danielle Lloyd on TV, a program called In Therapy, in January last year. He contacted the police, triggering the investigation, Operation Costa, into the activities of Jones and Dickens. At first just 2 girls came forward, but it got in the press, and more came forward and told a strikingly similar pattern of what had happened in Rugby over the past 20 years. But giving evidence, both Jones and Dickens maintained that sexual activity with the girls they are each alleged to have raped had always been consensual, and he insisted, "No one in their right mind is going to carry any gun in or around those flats. I had no gun. I was on parole, I wouldn't have had a gun anywhere near me." During their deliberations, the jury sent a note to the judge asking to have the transcripts of the alleged victims' video-recorded police interviews. But they were told by Judge Sylvia de Bertodano that they were not allowed to have the transcripts, but that she could remind them of the evidence in the interviews and of the women's cross-examination in court. The trial continues.